Have you ever wondered why you don't feel truly happy, even though you've achieved everything society says is success? What if I told you that true happiness isn't something you find out there, but rather simple lessons you've been overlooking? Before you die, you may never learn these things, but if you start now, everything could change forever. Today, we will explore the 7 profound Stoic lessons you must learn before it's too late. These lessons will not only change the way you perceive life, but also help you live a life that truly matters. Welcome to Wisdom Daily, where we share deep insights to help you live a fuller life every day. Lesson 1. Your comfort zone is your coffin. Comfort, although it may seem like the ultimate goal for everyone, is actually the greatest enemy of growth. When you constantly try to avoid challenges and difficulties, you're missing out on invaluable opportunities to grow and progress in life. You may feel safe in your comfort zone, but that very place is where your dreams, aspirations, and potential are buried. You've probably heard this saying, "The formula for success is daring to face difficulty and challenge." This is not just a theory, but a profound truth understood by all great achievers. If you want to grow, you must step outside of your comfort zone, confront uncertainty, and sometimes even failure. That's the only way to truly develop. Think about the athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs you admire. They are not people who lived in safety. These individuals had to step out of their comfort zones and face failure, hardship, and unforeseen challenges. A prime example is Michael Jordan, one of the greatest athletes of all time. Did you know that he was cut from his high school basketball team? But instead of giving up, he trained harder, learned from his failures, and came back stronger than ever. Each failure helped him understand his limits and push beyond them. Your comfort zone will never help you grow, but when you face failure and challenges, you will realize your true potential. Similarly, Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, was once fired from the very company he created. But instead of seeing this as the end, he viewed it as a pivotal turning point in his life. It was through those failures and painful moments that Jobs found the opportunity to return and change the entire tech industry. Had he chosen to live in comfort, perhaps Apple would never have achieved the success it has today. So, what about your life? Are you also living in your comfort zone, avoiding challenges and only seeking safety? Ask yourself, are you ready to give up comfort to achieve something greater in your life? Remember, comfort is not the destination. It is an obstacle on your path to growth. But comfort also has a darker side we need to recognize. It is the expectation we place too highly on others and ourselves, and this will only lead us to disappointment. Let's continue exploring the next lesson. Expectation is the root of misery. Lesson 2. Expectation is the root of misery. Having high expectations of others and yourself can lead to deep disappointment and unnecessary suffering. We often believe that if we set expectations, we will achieve what we want. But the reality is not always that simple. Expectations create a gap between reality and desire, and when reality does not align with what we expected, we feel hurt, angry, and disappointed. This not only affects our relationships with others, but also with ourselves. Therefore, it is crucial to learn how to lower our expectations and accept reality, rather than constantly chasing a perfect outcome. Lowering expectations does not mean giving up on your high goals or not striving in life. In fact, it is about changing your perspective and learning to live contentedly with what you have. Instead of focusing solely on the destination, focus on the journey. The journey consists of the experiences and lessons you learn along the way. When you stop letting expectations control you, you will live more lightly, worry less, and enjoy life more. This will help you maintain peace of mind and appreciate the good things that life offers. Imagine you are preparing for a competition that you have trained for intensely. You've spent a lot of time and effort practicing, and you expect to win. But in the end, you don't achieve the result you hoped for, and you feel disappointed and frustrated. However, if you learn to lower your expectations and instead focus on the training process, you will realize that the persistence and lessons from each failure are the real rewards. You will feel satisfied with what you've done, rather than just obsessing over the final result. I want to share a personal story with you. In the past, I always had very high expectations of myself at work. I thought that if I worked hard and hoped for good results, everything would be successful. However, things didn't always turn out as I expected. There was a time when I felt I had done everything right, but the work still didn't achieve the success I had hoped for. Instead of feeling disappointed, I began to shift my mindset and learn to accept reality. I learned that satisfaction doesn't come from achieving what I expect, but from enjoying the process and learning from the failures. I began to focus on the journey rather than obsessing over the outcome. And from then on, I found peace of mind and satisfaction with what I had. When you begin to lower your expectations, you will notice that everything becomes lighter. But there is also another important factor that we need to learn: the change in relationships and friendships. We must accept that friendships are not forever, and each relationship can change over time. Stay tuned to explore the next lesson. Friendships are not forever. Lesson 3. Friendships are not forever. One truth that we often find hard to accept is that friendships and relationships are impermanent. People change, and with that, relationships change too. Each person in our lives has their own journey, and sometimes even our closest friends can become strangers over time. Nothing is forever, not even friendship. Understanding and accepting this change is the first step to living more fulfilled and growing stronger. We often place too many expectations on long-lasting relationships and believe that our closest friends will always be there for us. However, life changes, and sometimes we must learn to let go of relationships that no longer fit. Instead of holding on to what has passed, accepting change and opening ourselves to new relationships will not only help us overcome loss, but also help us grow stronger. Cherish each moment with your friends, and don't let worries about change cause you to miss out on the joy in those moments. You can't control the changes in others, but you can control how you react to those changes. When a friendship ends, don't see it as a failure. Instead, view it as an opportunity to learn and open yourself to new connections. What's important is understanding that relationships don't always last forever, and letting go of them can create room for new friends, deeper connections. Don't be afraid of change, as every encounter has its own significance. I remember a time in my life when I lost a close friend I had been very attached to. We shared many memories, went through ups and downs together, but one day we were no longer the same. We had grown in different directions, and that relationship gradually faded. At first, I felt devastated and hurt. I couldn't understand why it was happening, and I tried to hold on, hoping to preserve the friendship as it had been. However, after some time thinking about it, I realized that change is unavoidable. We no longer shared the same goals or outlook on life, and continuing a relationship that no longer felt natural only made us both uncomfortable. When I accepted that change is a part of life, I began to feel more at ease. I learned to cherish the memories we had and opened my heart to new friends. I understood that each person I meet has a lesson for me, and each friendship brings different value at different stages of life. Changes in relationships are inevitable, but it's during these times that we can learn so much about ourselves. We must understand that to achieve great things in life, sometimes we need to be willing to sacrifice and let go of certain important things. And that's the lesson we will explore in the next lesson. Sacrifice is essential. Lesson 4. Sacrifice is essential. To achieve something great in life, you must be willing to give up something valuable. Sometimes, in order to move forward, we must sacrifice the things we once cherished, things that society, or even we ourselves, consider safe and stable. However, what's important to realize is that sacrifice is not a loss, but rather an investment for the future, for greater values that we can achieve. You cannot go far in life if you keep holding on to everything around you. To do something great, you need to have the courage to let go and choose the more difficult path, but one full of potential. Sacrifice can truly be the key to unlocking new opportunities and helping you grow. Many people perceive sacrifice as giving up something important in life with pain and discomfort. But in reality, sacrifice is not a loss, it's an act of investing in the future. It's like planting a young tree. You must dedicate time, effort, and even part of what you have to nurture it. But one day, you will reap the sweet fruits of that sacrifice. Sacrifice can mean giving up short-term pleasures to pursue long-term goals. It can also mean leaving a stable job to follow your passion, even knowing that the path will not be easy and will face many challenges. One notable example of sacrifice is the story of Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla and SpaceX. Before founding Tesla, Elon Musk was already a millionaire after selling PayPal. But instead of living a comfortable life, he decided to use all of his money to invest in new projects that very few people believed would succeed. He gave up a stable life, relinquishing what seemed like the American dream to pursue bigger passions, creating a more sustainable world and expanding human horizons beyond Earth. Elon Musk didn't just sacrifice money, he also sacrificed time and health, facing a series of failures before achieving the success he enjoys today. If he hadn't been willing to make those sacrifices, perhaps today we wouldn't have Tesla electric cars or the SpaceX program that aims to send people to Mars. So, what about you? Are you willing to give up what you have to pursue greater goals? What in your life is holding you back, and what can you sacrifice to get closer to your dreams? Sacrifice is an essential part of pursuing great things. But on this journey, you'll realize another important thing. Love is not something you chase, but rather something that comes naturally when you live fully with yourself. Let's continue exploring the next lesson. Don't chase love. Lesson 5. Don't chase love. Love is not something you search for, but rather something that comes naturally when you live a full life. We often tend to chase love as if it's the ultimate goal, but the truth is that love will come when we live fully and happily with ourselves. You don't have to do everything to earn love. When you truly love yourself, love will naturally appear in your life. To allow love to come to you naturally, you first need to learn how to love yourself. Don't depend on validation from others to feel valuable. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself, living a meaningful and complete life. When you are happy with what you have and no longer feel love-starved, love will come to you naturally, not as a frantic search. This doesn't mean you reject love or stop seeking a relationship, but rather that you don't place all your happiness in someone else. When you no longer feel lacking in love, you will be able to welcome it with a stronger mindset and truly appreciate what it brings. I want to share a personal story about a time I was blindly searching for love. When I was younger, I always felt that I was lacking in love. I tried everything to be loved, from changing myself to seeking attention from others. I believed love was what would complete me and make me happy. But the more I tried to search, the more I felt empty and failed. One day, I decided to change my mindset. I realized that I had been too dependent on others to find happiness. I started focusing on myself, developing personal interests, and finding little joys in life. I learned to love myself, accept all that I had, and live a fuller life. When I no longer felt love-deprived, something miraculous happened. Love came to me naturally, not as a rushed search, but as a true, strong, and genuine connection. When you understand that love starts with yourself, you will also realize another important thing. In life, sometimes we must challenge the thoughts and viewpoints of the majority. Don't be afraid of being different, because it's that difference that will help you grow and find your own path. Stay tuned to explore the next lesson. The majority is often wrong. Lesson 6. The majority is often wrong. We are often swept along by the crowd, believing that what the majority thinks is the truth. But in reality, just because most people believe something is true doesn't mean it is. History has proven that many popular beliefs in society have sometimes been wrong. Don't be afraid of being different. Don't just accept what is considered self-evident without questioning it. Learn to think independently, seek the truth from different sources, and build your own beliefs. The truth is not always confirmed by the majority, and sometimes it is the differences that spark the motivation to change the world. Without people who dare to go against the majority, we wouldn't have breakthroughs, inventions, or significant changes in society. So, don't be afraid to stand up and question what you've been taught or what society deems as correct. Throughout history, there are countless examples of wrong ideas that the majority has believed. One of the most notable examples is the belief held by many people in ancient times that the Earth was the center of the universe and everything revolved around it. This belief was accepted by many generations without question, until Nicolaus Copernicus and Galileo Galilei dared to challenge and prove that the Earth was not the center of the universe. Without individuals like them questioning what was considered self-evident, we might have missed out on these great discoveries. Similarly, Martin Luther King Jr. was unafraid to fight against the racist ideologies that existed in society. During a time when the majority of Americans thought racial segregation was normal, he stood up and challenged those wrong beliefs. Thanks to people like him, we've been able to progress in our fight for equality and freedom. Learn to think independently. Don't let the opinions of the crowd or society dictate how you view the world. Ask questions, challenge the truths you've been taught. Seek the truth from many different sources, and never stop expanding your perspective. Remember, growth and progress in life don't come from following the majority, but from daring to seek the truth and changing your beliefs. When you begin to think independently, you will no longer be influenced by the wrong ideas around you. You will be able to build your own beliefs and live a life full of meaning and freedom. Independent thinking not only helps us grow, but it also helps us persevere and overcome life's challenges. Especially in a world full of temptations and demands for instant gratification, patience becomes an invaluable strength. Stay tuned to explore the next lesson. Patience is power. Lesson 7. Patience is power. In the modern world, where instant gratification has become the standard, patience has become a rare and powerful strength. We are living in an age of technology and convenience, where everything can be fulfilled immediately. A click of a button and you can buy anything, a message, and you get an instant reply. However, this causes us to forget that true success and happiness do not come instantly. Patience is a crucial factor in achieving something great and lasting in life. Patience is not just about waiting for a result, but about the process of learning, growing, and evolving. Great things in life cannot be rushed. You cannot skip steps or bypass the process to reach the goal you desire. To achieve long-term and sustainable success, you must learn to persevere, wait, and embrace the challenges along the journey. Patience is not about sitting idle and waiting without taking action. It is the ability to sustain effort and passion, even if the results do not come immediately. Patience is understanding that everything needs time to develop. When you have patience, you will feel more at ease when facing difficulties and failures, because you understand that all good things take time to form. To succeed, you need to focus on the journey rather than just waiting for the destination. Work hard and persevere every day, even if you don't see immediate results. Trust that these small efforts will accumulate and lead to great rewards over time. The greatest achievements in life often don't come quickly. Think about the development of nature, trees, and humans. A young sapling cannot become a mighty tree overnight. It must go through a long process, growing bit by bit, leaf by leaf, branch by branch. Each season, it faces challenges from the weather and storms, but as each year passes, the tree grows stronger. Similarly, humans also go through this process. Maturity and success cannot happen overnight. It's a long journey, requiring perseverance and patience. Take Thomas Edison, for example, the inventor of the light bulb. Edison had to experiment thousands of times before finding the successful method. Each failure taught him something and pushed him forward until he achieved great success. If he had given up after the first few attempts, the light bulb might never have been invented. It was patience that helped him overcome every obstacle and eventually succeed. So, what about you? Are you ready to be patient, learn, and keep trying, even if you don't see results right away? Remember, patience is what will guide you to lasting success. Patience helps us overcome challenges, but to live a full life, we also need to learn how to let go of unrealistic expectations and be content with what we have. Today, we've explored 7 profound Stoic lessons that can change your life. From realizing that comfort is the coffin of growth, to lowering expectations to reduce suffering, and learning to appreciate the changes in relationships. We've also learned that sacrifice is essential to achieving great goals, and true love comes when we love ourselves. Lastly, we've discovered that patience is power, helping us overcome life's challenges. Each lesson is a reminder that life is not a straight path, but a journey filled with inevitable challenges. However, it is through these challenges that we grow and live a life that is true to ourselves and meaningful. Life is not about achieving everything you want, but about how you face challenges and learn from them. That's how you grow and make your life truly fulfilling. If you found these Stoic lessons valuable for your life, don't forget to share this video with your friends and leave a comment below about the changes you want to make today. Let us know, what do you think about letting go of unrealistic expectations to live a more meaningful life? And don't forget to subscribe to the Wisdom Daily channel, where you can continue to find valuable lessons and profound ideas to help you live a fuller life. Let's grow and explore the wonderful things in life together.